This is a work of Ted Warnell. Ted and I go back about 21 years at this point. We've been in touch since about 1996, talking about net art for 21 years. He's been doing his site, warnell.com, for about that long and longer in computer art more generally. And he's been very helpful and supportive in the development of Warnell 3.0, giving me all sorts of great feedback on it, so thanks, Ted. I showed him different brushes using his work, and he chose this one because he said, it was Jim Andrews, he said. So and that's Ted, you know, he looks out for other people as well as he looks out for himself. These, what we're looking at, his art that we're looking at, we're using screenshots from his canvas animations. We're looking at screenshots from his canvas JavaScript animations. We're both doing canvas-based animations. A lot of JavaScript, so we talk a fair amount via email about canvas JavaScript stuff. We even Skyped the other day about it, which I hope we'll do more of in the future. So that's Teddy's work. This is the work of Regina Pinto from Brazil. Regina translated Arteroids into Portuguese back around 2001 and was involved in web artery, as were several of the people in this project, including Ted. She does a site called artonline.arq.br. And these days, she's been doing mostly photography. Well, this is the work of Andrew Topel, who anybody involved in visual poetry knows the name of, because Andrew is an extraordinary visual poet. He does Avantacular Press. Which publishes the work of other people and some of his own extraordinary visual poetry. This is the work of Nico Vassilakis, and Nico and I go back like to the 80s, I think, the late 80s, when I met him in Seattle. He was living in Seattle. He lives in New York now, or Brooklyn, and but he lived in Seattle for a long time and worked at Fantagraphics and published a really handsome book of visual poetry, an anthology of visual poetry called Vispo. This is the work of a young artist by the name of Brent Bechtel. So this is tracing out some of his collages. And this is the work of the German visual poet Klaus Peter Dencker. Interesting visual collage style. And this is the work of a Slovene artist by the name of Jaka Zeleznikar. Jaka was involved in web artery back in the late 90s as well. And he does programming in JavaScript and PHP, perhaps some other languages as well. And so he's been doing programmed net art for a long time. And he sent me some graphics that are output from one of his web-based generative art pieces, which Olive now is chewing on and sort of collaging in an unusual way. And there's a lot more fascinating work by featured artists in Olive Now. There's 20, 21, 22 featured artists in Olive Now.